Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. See this down here in the lower right corner of my screen? It's 3 a.m. What am I doing up? So, I was meant to get up just before 4 a.m. this morning. And, I allowed myself 6.5 hours of sleep, and like usual. And I have to take somebody to the airport at 4:15. And then my dog gets me up at 2. 2, 2, like 2:15 or something like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. About an hour ago. Dog's got a bladder infection. Big black dog. She's I've just had to spend $2,000 at the vet, ultrasound, all that junk, just to get some antibiotics and a couple other things. So big setback. So when I couldn't get back to sleep, my mind was racing about my gaming channel of all things. And it's like, what am I doing? So I think I'm going to change, probably add some. I'm thinking of getting back into X4. Yeah. Not full time though, like before. See, before, when I go, let's see, looks at my playlist. X4 VRO. Where did I leave that off? All right, X4 VRO. My goodness, my goodness. Yeah. So I was doing all this. The thing with my X4 series, and the reason that I had to quit it, is mostly because, well, I was getting burned out because that was all I was doing in life. In fact, I wasn't doing anything else really. I was putting all my time into my X4 series. And man, that production quality was getting really high. It was, I mean, look at these video lengths. 20 minutes, 30 minutes at most, 15 minutes. Usually 25 minutes or so. Looks like I was shooting for. And I put 3.5 hours of time into each one of these. And I'm thinking, why? What took the time? What actually took the time? It's the editing, right? It's the editing. Every single one of these. Let's just take a peek. Welcome to episode 73. The stakes are about to be raised. Yeah, so I made an intro. Played the game, made an outro. I mean, if you saw the editing, I won't show that, but the editing process. And then I did an outro, and I recorded these separately. I recorded them separately from the actual gameplay. So what I would do, I remember now. What I would do is I would play X4 for about 5 hours in a stretch, typically. And what I would do then is the footage. I would basically cut out anything that wasn't worth putting in an episode, and I would cut the footage off and isolate bits, figure out where is my episode going to end. And so I would figure out the theme of the episode, and I would put the intro and the outro on the end of that, and I would record it, separately, take the time to set up and do that recording. and then do all the editing. It is a lot, and then I would review it, and then I would compress it and all that stuff, and get it on YouTube. And the thing is, I've been doing videos very differently since then with other games, right? I haven't been doing any of this stuff like where I put, what's his name? What's his name? The guy on YouTube, Mr. Plinkett. That was such a funny moment in this video because what's wrong with your face? And I don't think anyone even noticed, but it was so funny. I had to put that in there because it was just great. And you know there was some great moments in the X4 series. But what have I really been doing since then? You know, I've been doing, well, let's just see. I've been doing X4. No, not X4. I've been doing No Man's Sky, mostly No Man's Sky. Mostly No Man's Sky. And I'm up to well, I've put episode 44 out. No, 45 just dropped. That's right. And I've noticed that, you know, my views are way, way down. X4 was pretty popular. I was getting hundreds of views and lots of comments. Lots of people only watched the X4 content and they didn't switch over to No Man's Sky when I switched. It's like, all right, fine. I see how that goes. And then whenever I put, you know, a different game on, like Sons of the Forest for a little bit, Terraria for a little bit, there's hardly anyone that watched it. And even though those are objectively more popular games on YouTube than X4, I don't know why X4 did so well. X4 isn't a very popular series, you know, game. But anyways, I had this thought. When I was lying in bed trying to get back to sleep for the next hour, which I'm not going to be able to do now. And I thought, what if I start X4 back up, but instead of it being like it used to, what if I did it like I do these? You know, and I've got a really good technique now for editing out the stuff that I'm not talking in. See, this is something that I don't think any other gaming YouTubers do, is record your audio track into the microphone separately from the game track so that when you're not talking and you're playing the game, you speed it up. So I speed it up typically 5 times the normal speed, but you know, for No Man's Sky, if I'm flying and there's an extended, you know, travel times, I'll speed it up 10 times. So it's going 10 times normal speed, which really, really cuts down on, you know, the tedious length for you guys watching, right? Because who wants to watch stuff that isn't even worth talking about in the game? So I typically have gotten in the habit, it's pretty solid now, where I've gotten in the habit of talking during gameplay whenever there's anything worth showing. And I'm basically relaying to you my thoughts on the game in real time. And if I don't have any real thoughts on the game, I don't say anything. And then that part gets sped up. And you guys have no doubt noticed that has made a massive improvement, especially for No Man's Sky, in terms of, you know, if I'm mining stuff out of the ground or flying from here to there, or just, you know, walking through the damn space anomaly that takes freaking ages to walk through every single time because you can't use your jetpack. Well, you can't melee. You can't melee in a space station or the space anomaly. How dumb is that? And that's how you initiate the jetpack forward thing, and you can't do that. Like, why did they tie it to fighting? And who uses melee anyways in a fight? And there's my satisfactory tour. 250 hours I put into that factory. It's a 2-hour video. I'm sure hardly anyone watched it. Holy cow. Okay, scratch that. 924 people have viewed that, but no one commented. That's so weird. I thought it was maybe 50 people that saw that. No, lots of people had seen that. And no one commented. That's bizarre. Well, that's cool. People got to see my factory at least. And sometimes No Man's Sky gets a lot of views, like 375 for this one. But over here, 831. Are you kidding me? Why? Why did my mining output, oh, it's probably the title. Like these aren't people who are watching my series. These are random people who have clicked on a video randomly on YouTube because it probably recommended it to them. I think analytics will even tell me about that. Anyways, that's not why I'm talking here. I've noticed that like look at this one, 52 views versus 831. Isn't that something? So, what am I thinking now? What am I thinking? I'm thinking, what if I do X4 like I've been doing everything else, where I don't put so much effort into presentation quality and making themed episodes and stuff like that, and just play the game. I just play the game like I've been playing these other games. Because here's the thing, right? I only have so much time to play any game. And I have other projects. I have my writing projects that are really important, that are suffering lately as well. And I'm thinking, I don't mind rotating games. You know, I've been trying it out. I've been trying rotating a little bit. And I thought I could still do No Man's Sky. And then I could do Astroneer. I could do Against the Storm, which are the 3 games I'm rotating now, if you hadn't noticed. And X4 I could add to that, and maybe later on Satisfactory, Factorio, other games that I like, that I play, or that I should be playing. And, you know, just rotate them. And, you know, it might not be as thrilling as my X4 series, which is pretty much my story in X4 is like I tried to make it like a story. No Man's Sky, I want to say something about this game that some of you No Man's Sky fans might not like, or might, or maybe you can correct my understanding of it. Maybe I don't understand the game very well, but it has been frustrating to me. And you're going to see a video called it's the one after Overseer's Doppelganger. It's called Return to the Technician. There's going to be No Man's Sky 48, Return to the Technician. That's what it's called. And that was the entire episode is me and the Exocraft technician, and him telling me his sad story about, you know, whatever, and just the Viking and the way they talk. It's frustrating to me. And I had to go, because I already have all the Exocraft stuff. Well, most of it. I had a good portion of the goals already done. So it was just a matter of him telling me to do something as if I hadn't already done it, talking to me as if I was stupid for, you know, not having certain knowledge that I actually had, and just generally being annoying. It really broke me. This game session in No Man's Sky broke me. I just, I hate the story. I hate the characters in No Man's Sky. I hate them. I hate the writing. I mean, I for a while I thought the writing was good, but it's not. It's crap. And I mean, there's some really interesting plot points, and the world building is great. No problem with that. It's the way the characters talk. I hate it. Nobody's a male or female. It actually drives me crazy. Like, you don't call your best friend they unless you're crazy. What the hell is this? You know, this thing with Artemis, and I know what happens. I know what happens. I mean, the Mind Arc, I made the mind arc. You're supposed to take it to Artemis's grave. It puts his soul into it, and you're supposed to decide whether you want to put him in a simulation or just let him die. And I've seen other people's YouTube videos on how they anguish over that decision, and I thought, really, you're going to anguish over whether to let Artemis die or to let him live in a simulation that he will never be fulfilled in? Why are you attached to Artemis? You never knew him. There's nothing in the game that lets you really get to know him as a person. All you know is that he's, you first meet him as a contact and he's like, I'm lost, I'm trapped. Can you please come get me? And you're like, okay, fine, I'll come get you, because the game tells you to do that, right? And then you try to do that, and you try to do the missions that get you to the point where you can come rescue him, and you find out that he's already dead. And then the game narrates for you that oh my gosh, I was my friend Artemis, this and that. And it's like, no, he wasn't your friend. You didn't know him. He was a random hitchhiker that wanted you to come along and rescue him from some kind of nasty situation with the Sentinels and the Atlas or whatever. And there's no connection. There's no emotional connection. I know how to make emotional connection in stories. That's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. So No Man's Sky, and the other thing, oh my gosh, I have to say about No Man's Sky, as fun as many aspects of it are, I've been trying, the last quite a few episodes have been me working on resource automation, which is what I would do in any game. Any game. If I can do resource automation, I'll do it. And, because it's building up your resource collection, production capabilities is part of any game that has resources. And then I found that there's no way to spend all of this. And the market's garbage. The market itself, everybody knows that the way that the interstellar market in No Man's Sky is garbage. It's just there. There isn't. I mean, it exists, but it's nothing even close to what X4 does. Nothing even close. So, as far as satisfaction goes, X4 is much more satisfying. No Man's Sky is really great in that it lets you land on planets. It lets you explore more. It lets you explore at all. X4 isn't really an exploration game. I mean, if you like exploring, if you like wandering around aimlessly, just exploring random things, No Man's Sky is your game. If you like goal-oriented, challenging games that give you a tangible goal that to achieve and get there, where you can feel good about having achieved something, then No Man's Sky is not your game. As far as I can tell. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm not understanding it. But I am not seeing a goal in this game. Now, the beginning was challenging because the beginning is survival. The beginning of No Man's Sky is a survival challenge. And, you're trying to get enough sodium to keep your life support going. You're trying to get enough, you're trying to get a better ship. You're trying to get around, and you're trying to basically establish yourself. Get a little bit of a base started. But what is the purpose of a base if not to produce things? You've seen my base; it's crap. There's no reason to expand it because, there's nothing. The game artificially limits how many resource refineries you can put in a spot, for crying out loud. It's like you can only put two large resource refineries in a local area. It says so, and then you walk 20 meters away, and it lets you put more down. It's like an artificial limitation purely to make sure that you don't farm resources in large quantities, rather than just letting you give you a purpose to spend the resources in large quantities. There's no purpose of spending the resources. It's driving me crazy. I don't know what to think about this. Like, what on earth? I mean, you should see my, you should see what it is now. I've got an entire storage full of chromatic metal. It's full. I mean, it's almost full. And I'm thinking, I got to find a good place, with a high price. I can sell this. Oh, no, I don't care. You get so much more. It's endless. It's endless. And there's no way to keep up with my mining sites now. There's no way to keep up with it. And so it makes me wonder, why do they exist? Why do they exist? There's no automation. I can't set up any machines that will automatically take the product of the mines and put it in the refineries and automatically take that product and put it into some kind of complex assembly, thing that builds something complex. You have to do everything by hand. You have to craft everything by hand. And it's just, why? What's the purpose of resources in No Man's Sky? I don't even know. I misunderstood. I thought that the resources would be used for something. That's why I've been making them. I thought they'd be used for something, to make something. Apparently not. You just sell them? You just mine stuff to sell it? Now, I've heard that you can craft some pretty expensive things worth millions and millions of credits. Well, it's like, that's all nice and all, but is the goal of the game just to have billions and billions of credits in your account? Is that the goal? What on earth costs that much? Freighters? I mean, what? How much? If I wanted to buy an S class freighter that looked amazing, and and then frigates apparently that you can get, which which I hear that you send them out on expeditions. You don't even go yourself. You just send them out on expeditions. They come back with resources. But hey, what are resources for? What are credits for? Okay, so you get the credits, and let's just say it costs 1 billion credits to get the best setup in the game. Hell, I could get 1 billion credits. I bet you I could figure out a way to get 1 billion credits in a month's time. You know, uh, okay, so that's not the purpose, right? So you get the best setup, you get all the living ships, and you hatch them or whatever. I've never done it, I've never seen it, I've heard about it. Um, and then you get those. You get the S class multi tools, you get the S class everything, everything S class, and then the game limits to how many you can have, how many ships you can have, how many multi tools you can have. The game puts limits on things that seem extremely arbitrary, in your extracraft. One of the problems I've really been struggling with lately in No Man's Sky is the fact that exploration doesn't feel like exploration. If I'm exploring, I want to feel far from home. I want to feel like I'm going out there to see something rare, something unique, something that I have to work to go find it. And and then I want to feel like I'm far from home, and it's going to take me a while to get back. You know what? You know how you get home? You go to the nearest space station, and you just teleport home. Everywhere you go in the entire universe, you're one teleport from home. And teleporting is free. It doesn't cost any resources or money. What's the point? You know? And and not only that, but but the galactic map has no structure to it. Have you noticed that? You open up the galactic map and you see all these stars. Well, you can only zoom out a little ways. So you zoom all the way out. It's not like Elite Dangerous where you zoom out and you see the whole galaxy. You can see where you are in the galaxy. I can't zoom out more than the local group of stars. And there's no structure to them at all. It's just a glob of stars. And you can go to any one of them because, you have huge range on that starship. Your warp can go, I've heard that sometimes you can go over 1,000 light years. I can't. I don't think I can. Maybe I can. I don't remember. But you can warp jump anywhere you want. And then it's like there's no way to tell where you are. What happens when I get away from my local group of stars? If I start going towards the galactic core like you're meant to, what happens then? And And so therefore, like how do you keep track of visually where the stars are that you've explored? You can't. You can't. And then what happens? You see that the teleport list. It shows all the bases you've built and all the stations you've visited in the order that you've found them, in the order you've been there. Well, what happens when that list is 300 long? Scrolly, 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 scrolly. And it's like, uh, you know, and there's a problem in this game. There's a problem with structure and goals in this game. It does seem extraordinarily aimless, and that bugs me. That bugs me because I need a goal to play a game. I need a goal. So I think, well, why don't I make a goal for myself in No Man's Sky? Like I can make a goal to visit all the galaxies. Maybe maybe that's a worthy goal. Maybe I can make a goal to collect the S tier things, to collect all the glyphs. I've got two of them, because this story is frustrating the hell out of me. The base story of the game, with the Overseer and with Artemis and all that stuff. It is driving me nuts. I'm not kidding. That's the main source of frustration. You see me swearing in the game, that's because of that. It's because I'm trying to do something that the game has just made boring as hell. And I don't know what to do with that. The way everyone talks, the way the story hints that there's something really grand and mysterious but never actually shows you. What is that? These freighter logs, they're amazing. The freighter logs sound like there's a really, really crazy story in there somewhere. If and then the KZZKZT, oh, that drives me crazy. It really does. Why is that? Why are words missing from logs? Words that you can't just guess what they are. It's like the words missing. You can't actually tell what's being said. You're not. Anyways, all right. I shouldn't be ranting so much, but No Man's Sky is frustrating the hell out of me, and I need to change how I play it, or I can't play it. I need to change how I play it because this stuff I've been doing, Overseer's Doppelganger. I found my Overseer on a station with the same name, Trader Kobe, and he told me that he's been contracted to work for me. I already have Trader Kobe on my base working for me. What is that? I don't get it. I don't get it. This one's called My Scientist is a Terrible Father because, he is. My gosh. You'll see that one. You'll see that one in a couple of days, 4 days. So I'm thinking goal oriented gaming. Let's do goal oriented gaming in focus. And that way it gives me something that I can achieve rather than, this aimless farming of resources. It doesn't work. There's no point to it. There's no point. So, Astroneer, I'm really, really having fun with Astroneer. And it's weird because I've played the whole thing before, but they've really improved the game a lot since I've played it. And it's been 4 years, right? They've improved the game a lot in 4 years. So you guys have seen my introduction, and you've seen cave diving, and then the next one is tractor tagging, and then I've got soil centrifuge, which I just recorded, I think yesterday, and these and I'm making great progress. It's a lot of fun, good missions, good goals. I love goals in games. So it gives you actual goals, the structure on how to play it or what to play. So I'm having good fun. I'm going to continue Astroneer. Against the Storm, where did I start that? Against the Storm 2, 1. Okay, so I played the tutorial of Against the Storm because Against the Storm is out now, right? It's 1.0. And I played the tutorial, and the tutorial is a two-parter, and it took me 2 episodes each, so that's 4 episodes. playing through how to play the game. And then after the fourth episode, I'm going to be like properly, in the deep end with it, challenges and stuff. Against the Storm is a serious challenge. This game, it's difficult. It's difficult, and it gives you, a workout in your head. How do I solve this? How do I, what do I do? And it gives you a goal, long-term goals. Your Citadel upgrades, man, the highest ones, and then the highest prestige, what do they call it? Difficulty levels. Apparently there's 20 um, difficulty levels, and I don't know much about it yet, but I'm learning, and this is going to be a fun series. I hope. I hope I can make it entertaining. And so I'm going to continue that. That's really great. We've got 2 episodes queued up. No Man's Sky still going. So what about X4? I'm thinking of calling, or of continuing where I left off, right? The VRO series. So if you remember right, um, if I go back to my X4 playlist, then I go, yeah. So I was building stuff, and I was doing a lot of pirating. I was doing, because pirating free ships, right? and and then I got to the part where I built the gauntlet at the Cascade Gate. Remember that? And then I was preparing to do the Avarice storyline. And then all of a sudden, Shinneman, Lieutenant Shinneman, calls me up and is like, "What the heck?" And the Yaki pirate base over in Savage Spur was under attack by Xenon for some reason, and I don't know how come, but it was getting clobbered, and it took me a while to figure out how on earth to save it, because it's a story station and it needs to not die. And so I spent, let's see, episode 81 through 90. I spent 10 episodes. And we're talking, and these are lengthy play sessions. I spent just gobs of time saving the Savage Spur. And man, I eradicated the Xenon from that sector, if you remember. That was satisfying. But there's lots more to do. But then, as some of you guys pointed out in your comments, I've got 6 Asgards. I can curb stomp the Xenon. I can take out U's and I's. I mean, even though I've got mods in there that make them all hard, that puts on bazillions of turrets on these Xenon capital ships. It doesn't add more to the U. The U is a VRO ship. It's not vanilla. The U it's a beast. It's a beast. But here's the thing. Where is that one? Didn't I have so I got done with that, and I went back to the Everest area, Windfall, Everest, and I went to carry on with that story, and that's kind of where I stopped. That's where I stopped, and I just couldn't carry on. So I'm thinking, what I should do. Here's what I should do. I should continue where I left off, but with the format that I'm using for the other games, and I should start a new playlist with episode 001, not 01, 001, because there very well could be more than 100 episodes. I got up to 90 here, and I was wondering, well, what's going to happen when I call it 100? It's going to stack weird. I mean, in my folder anyway, it's gonna sort it strangely because it's gonna starts with a one. So I'm thinking 001, and I'm gonna call it X4 domination, and I'm gonna have a goal, and the goal is to eradicate the Xenon from the whole game. And I think that's I don't even know if it's possible. I don't even know if it's possible. It might not be. It might be that the Xenon just keeps spawning in, um, even though you own the sector. But I'd also like to start owning sectors because you can do that if you put up defense platforms in sectors in X4, they go green, and you own them. Wow! And then you're the police there, and you control the trade there. You can declare certain things illegal goods, anything. You can do anything you want. You own the sector. So I'm thinking, what if I set my goal to eradicate the Xenon and then start claiming sectors? And then maybe, eventually maybe, to dominate the markets, to build space stations all over the place and have the trade be mostly through my stations rather than NPC stations. And what if I just build it up, just casually over, I don't know, a long time? I could have a X4 domination series where I just pick up where I left off and carry on like that. I don't know. It's something to think about. So that's what I've been contemplating as I'm trying to get back to sleep, and my mind couldn't rest because I've got too many weird things going on right now. But I don't want it to dominate my time. I want to dominate the X4 map, and I just need goals. I need goals, or I can't play a game. I can't do this aimless wandering stuff anymore. It's just not my style. So, anyways, uh, I hope this rant wasn't too bad. um, but I am off now. I have to get going. And thanks for watching. And we'll catch you in the games.